Yo, what's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today's gonna be a little rough, so now that you know that, let's go.
Y'all would not believe how much snow Japan just got. This picture behind me is not even doing justice. So the other day, Japan received so much snow within 12 hours, it reached up to 47 inches. Yes, 47 inches. Record breaking. It's not just shit happening in America. It's happening all around the globe. Y'all know this not normal. Let me know how this is normal. I'll wait. I never seen nothing like this, and they haven't seen anything like this either. Y'all, look at these videos. These people are literally shoveling out a tunnel just so they can have space to walk. Look at that shit, y'all. Do you see that? So y'all gonna sit here and tell me that's normal? To get this much snowfall, and it's still snowing. So just imagine if he didn't start shoveling this shit out. That shit almost come up to his neck. So if they got that in 12 hours, just imagine if it started to snow again. That shit gonna be over all they heads. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments. Don't forget to share this, because like I said, this is not normal at all. And that's why
residents in Japan's northern city of Obihiro woke up to find their vehicles buried beneath a mountain of snow on February 4th. Two low-pressure systems on either side of the country brought disruptive weather to the island of Hokkaido, resulting in significant travel disruptions and widespread closures. Some people were unable to leave their homes as the thick snow barricaded doorways. The onslaught set a new national record when Obihiro recorded 129 centimeters in just 12 hours. Locals struggled to navigate through the deep snow, and officials urged people to avoid unnecessary outings.
The most powerful telescope in space just released a brand new image, and it's one of the best of all time. This someday is going to be a planetary system, which is a fancy way of saying this is going to be its own solar system. This is so cool. What you're seeing is an edge-on disk. It's this dark area, and inside here is a star, or potentially binary stars, so two stars. And this entire thing is only 500,000 years old. Our solar system is 4.5 billion years old, and this disk is going to form planets and moons. This is only 450 light years away in the constellation Taurus. This is exactly how we formed, which is also why all of the planets in our solar system are on pretty much the same plane. Like the dust and gas rolled up like a snowball with gravity gluing it together. This disk is about 64 billion kilometers in diameter. This is huge. And it has these giant jets that are coming from the inner region of the disk, or potentially the star or stars themselves. These jets are moving up to 300 kilometers per second. This was actually discovered by Hubble in 1996. And this is an insane picture, because if aliens were to have taken a photo of our solar system about 4.5 billion years ago, it would have looked just like this. We're also just looking at limitless potential. Who knows what will happen on the planets that form here someday? Maybe someday they'll take a photo of other planets forming.
Yeah, that smells like BS to me. It seems like NASA just wants to keep themselves relevant and justifying all those millions they just got into their budget.
UFOs, plasmoids and their intelligent behaviours. For those of you that may or may not know, a little while ago, you can check a previous video, I went into the fact that plasmoids exhibit intelligent behaviours, and scientists and other researchers in the field are now questioning whether this is a display of intelligent behaviours and some form of sentience, right? The fella sat beside me here is called the Squatter Man, and he's appeared all over the world for thousands and thousands of years from all sorts of different religions and aspects, right? And some archaeologists believe that the motive associated with the aurora phenomenon due to plasma discharge, specifically a Z-pinch instability, right? Check this out. What you're seeing behind me here is an example of where this symbol appears all over the world, right? So all of these areas here are all sorts of different cultures and things where this symbol appears, and then you've got the main Squatter Man here, and then to the left is the actual symbol for a plasma discharge phenomena that happens up in the atmosphere, right? So this kind of goes to say that back in the day, Did our ancestors observe such an event where they were absolutely mind blown and they drew this as a representation of what they saw, right? Because it's a man and he's got two orbs around the side, and obviously a lot of this does represent to an extent with the plasmodial and orb activity, where throughout history again people have witnessed these strange lights in the sky, and there's paintings of them and all sorts of other different things, which is kind of interesting. Another set of symbols in relation to the plasma sort of entity that we've been experiencing. And so was our ancestors to an extent aware of, you know, scientists are talking about it now, that certain orbs and plasmodial things ejected from the sun can be potentially, theoretically, a level of consciousness or intelligence. There's some sort of display in nature there, right? And then obviously when we go back throughout history, the amount of cultures that praise the sun and pray down to the sun as a living being thing, like Helios or whatever other things that they pray to the sun for, if plasmoids are an extension of intelligence and consciousness, then that means our sun, by proxy, would mean that this bad boy is conscious and alive. And then where does that end? So if plasma that is being discussed in the field is a interconnectivity and can be aligned for consciousness to travel through, right? Where does this stop in the grand scheme of the cosmos? Are we just in a giant brain right now? Kind of like how mycelium fibers are with mycorrhizal mushrooms in nature that kind of build a symbiotic relationship with a tree, and all the networks connect all into all the other trees and they trade nutrients, information and other things that we are completely unaware of, right? But imagine that on a cosmic scale. All in all, I don't know. It could be just well, it is a great theory, and something that's just kind of been peeking in my brain and trying to relate it into things that we understand on a planetary level rather than an interplanetary level or on a cosmos level. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I thought it was interesting, so look into it.
I like how scientists only now come up with these sort of theories, when these people clearly knew something about that a long time ago. They're just rediscovering things, putting their name on it, only to make them feel better, and call it their own theories. Give me a break.
Have you ever heard of the dog-headed man? It starts 4,000 years ago. There's a race of hybrid humans that is a man's body with a literal dog head. Found it in Libya, carved onto these boulders. It was first written about by a Greek philosopher. Greeks have written about it. The Romans have written about it. Alexander the Great, Marco Polo, Christopher Columbus, St. Augustine. All these explorers and missionaries throughout history have all written about dog-headed men. The earliest writings from the Greek philosopher, he went and was exploring India, and deep in the mountains there was these dog-headed men. And he said that they were brutal and they would capture people and then eat them. But then as time goes on, like Alexander the Great talks about battling a tribe of dog-headed men. He said that they would talk to each other by barking. There's a story of King Arthur, and he claimed to have fought and beat a dog-headed men army in the mountains surrounding Edinburgh.
I mean, how do they come to an existence?
From the Book of Enoch, where it talks about the fallen angels, the Watchers, making hybrids of human, animal, beast. Yeah.
I wonder what happened to these guys. But now that I think of it, humans, they do like playing extinction level, don't they? Dragons, and nearly the whales too.
UV light lowers blood pressure. UV light increases the efficiency of the heart. UV light improves EKG. UV light balances cholesterol. UV light assists in weight loss. UV light is a treatment for skin conditions. UV light is also an effective treatment for many disorders. Going back to light therapy of 1933 in Germany, where they used to heal people with light. Then you go, UV light increases the level of hormones. People suffering from low testosterone or altered estrogen sitting in the sun. Then we go, UV light activates important skin hormones such as vitamin D, natural sources. Now, why do they tell people to stay out of the sun? Because all these industries exist to keep making money on the people. And if you tell people that UV is toxic and you better stay out of that sun, well, then these industries continue to keep just going about. And that's what we see. Because these industries have been going on for a long time. About 100 years of being told lies. And all we're doing, debunking it one step at a time.
Right, we're starting off Sunday with an absolute banger. A person in a passenger airplane caught a strange saucer-shaped diamond-like object. I'm going to zoom in here for you and enhance the imagery a little bit, and let's see what we kind of got going on here. Look at this thing. It's kind of like the one that we saw yesterday of that triangular-shaped object that this person caught in a cockpit. But look at this, right? How weird is that? It looks like your typical saucer shape in nature, and this thing, again, is kind of like coming behind the plane as they're pushing forwards. I'm not sure what to make of this. This is another strange object that keeps popping up all over the place, and lots more and more pilots are reporting these sightings, and passengers of aircraft are reporting these sightings, and it's about time too, because we've had a lackluster of the amount of things that have been going on in the air. The only things that we have had is via the communications between the control tower, but now we're actually starting to see more and more footage surface. This is unbelievable, mate. Look at that thing. I mean, we've seen similar objects to this before from the ground looking up. Like, this is not something new we've been seeing. Unbelievable stuff, man. You guys let me know what you think. Wow.
If you like this sort of content, remember to share, like, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos.
Something's not sitting right in my spirit about this Don Julio Popeyes collab. I honestly thought it was fake when I first heard about it. Not once has it ever crossed my mind while eating some chicken to add Don Julio to the mix. That don't even sound appetizing. Then to drop this collab on January 31st, just one day before the beginning of Black History Month, I can't be the only one that finds that suspiciously timed.
I mean, they've genuinely got people outside at 10 a.m. with some fried chicken and a bottle of Don Julio. 10 a.m. sharp on a Tuesday. This whole situation reminds me of a scene from a movie called They Clone Tyrone. In the movie, there were secret organizations conducting experiments on lower income communities to keep them docile and unaware of what's going on around them. Well, while eating, one of the main characters realizes that there is something inside of the chicken making himself and everyone around him laugh and smile uncontrollably. They also realized later that there was something in the drinks and hypnosis in the music that they listened to, which I can talk about in an entirely different video. But leave a like and let me know what you think. Am I just overthinking this whole thing?
You shouldn't be eating that type of food anyways, bro.
Baba Vanga was a blind Bulgarian mystic who at age 12 lost her sight and claimed that she was given the gift of prophecy in place of it. Now, she made several predictions. We're going to talk about year 2025 because it lines up with what Nostradamus said too, and I don't like that shit. She predicted that there would be World War III in 2025. I don't like that shit either. She also predicted that we would make contact with extraterrestrials, that I'm good with, and then she said that humans would develop telepathic abilities to communicate with each other. Now hear me out on this one. Elon Musk also said that by 2025 his Neuralink chip would be implemented. Is that going to give us telepathic abilities? I don't know. As far as contact with extraterrestrials go, I mean, have you looked in the sky here recently? We've got drones and orbs everywhere. Something's going on. Nostradamus, a French psychic, is already off to a good start in 2025 as he predicted there would be quantum physics breakthroughs, and we have the Willow AI chip introduced by Google. Not only did he predict a lot of cool shit happening in 2025, he also predicted some pretty scary shit happening in 2025, like a war in Europe or an ancient plague in Europe. He said the East and the West would go to war just like World War III, just kind of like Baba Vanga said too. Anyways, I don't like that shit.
I think Baba Vanga was speaking spiritually, not technically.
But did the remote control program that gives you graphical control of the machine, turn the resolution right down, turn it down to I think 4-bit color, and then on the desktop of the NAS machine, navigate to the folder, double click on the first image. The application launches, the image comes up on the screen, but it's still very, very slow. And what I saw, I was hoping to see exactly what she was describing, sources and very definite imagery. And what instead I saw was, I assume it was the Earth. This was in sort of shades of grey, but you had the Earth's hemisphere, probably about 2/3 of the screen. And then halfway between the top of the hemisphere and the bottom of the picture, there was a classic sort of cigar-shaped object. But with a sort of gold border, it was Judy Jones above, below, and this side, and I assume the other side as well, so it's the left and right as well. And with very slightly flattened cigar ends. No seams, no rivets, no sort of telemetry or antennae or anything like that.
We really need more guys like these to keep unveiling the secret agendas, to keep hiding from us. I mean, wouldn't you like to know about the secret space programs and all of those things? I mean, how can you apply for something if you don't even know it exists?
Have you guys heard that thing about the night vision goggles? You know, night vision now, it's green. Yep. But in the Vietnam War, the night vision goggles that they were issued were red light. Multiple people in the U.S. military that were using them were seeing what they were reporting as flying demons. There's an instance where they're flying these helicopters in Vietnam. It was a safe zone, no hostility, and then the gunner in the back just started shooting, and the pilot's like, "What are you shooting at?" And this guy, he was like panicked and he's like sweating and like, "What are you shooting at?" And he's like, "The demon." Apparently this giant winged demon creature was like flying at him, and then people on the ground in the jungles that were using it, they were also seeing like these demonic looking, freaky looking creatures. And so the military banned those night vision goggles.
What?
And they replaced them with green light. Apparently a lot of these dudes were shook to the core of everything that they saw with these goggles on.
Did the bullets work?
That was my follow-up.
It was just prayer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've looked into it a little bit because I heard the same thing. They were putting stuff inside the chemicals in the goggles that the chemical was literally leaking, and so they were literally tripping or having some type of like, it was a hallucinogenic.
I heard about this story before and I found it intriguing because I believe in that sort of crap. So I looked this up back then and I didn't hear about this chemical stuff. Sounds to me like this is some kind of a today's psyop.
It's foggy as f*** out right now.
I mean, it looks like Silent Hill in my fucking neighborhood. It is February 4th, and the time is 1:45 a.m. I could hear something in the fog, too. Listen. I can't make this shit up. This is fucking insane here.
You mean to tell me a man worth over $400 billion is gonna decide what happens with my grandma's Social Security check?
No one elected Elon Musk to nothing. And yet, Elon Musk is seizing the power that belongs to the American people. We are here to fight back.
When we open up the Senate every single morning, we don't pledge allegiance to the billionaires. We don't pledge allegiance to Elon Musk. We don't pledge allegiance to the creepy 22-year-olds working for Elon Musk. We pledge allegiance to the United States of America. And so I want to make sure that my mother gets her Social Security check, not because she pledges allegiance to Elon, but because she pledges allegiance to the United States of America.
This is the most corrupt bargain we've ever seen in American history. Elon Musk gives $250 million to elect Donald Trump, and Donald Trump turns over the keys to the United States government to Elon Musk and his billionaire friends and his cronies. Are we going to let that stand?
All right, let me get this straight. Did any of you Americans actually voted for Kamala Harris to be Biden's vice president before, not this time around? I thought the president is the one being voted in, and that guy, or Shklee, or whoever, can actually choose which people they want on their team. Those people do not need to be voted in. This only reeks of fear from that side. I think Elon is about to clean house, and their name is on the list. So now they want to rally you up to make you be angry at a guy that's trying to do good for your sake. All of these other people, their salaries are about to be nullified. Their jobs gone. Because all that money is being spent unnecessarily. Those money can be put on education and other places where it actually should be. Not to be given to somebody that keeps stomping on your freedoms and taking from your benefits. These people look scared of me. That's all it is. So you should not fall for this.
Fox breaking news February 5th, 2025. President Donald Trump and second President Elon Musk is threatening to shut down CIA, FBI, and other government agencies, including taking over Gaza Strip and stop Israel Education Fund and other aids.
Designed to cut waste and streamline the federal government.
President Trump is also making waves on the world stage. Yesterday, he pulled the U.S. from the UN Human Rights Council, authorized a maximum pressure campaign on Iran, and said this about Gaza.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip. Gaza is a hellhole right now, and we're going to give people a chance to live in a beautiful community that's safe and secure.
Team Fox coverage, Trey Yangst in Tel Aviv with more on remarks that are clearly getting a lot of reaction in the region. But first, let's go to Lucas Tomlinson at the White House with the latest push to gut government. Good morning, Lucas.
Good morning, Martha. President Trump has signed 54 executive orders since returning to the White House. And as you mentioned, the Department of Education could be next. Our own Peter Ducey asked the president about this in the Oval Office yesterday.
And on the Education Department, why nominate Linda McMahon to be the Education Department Secretary if you're going to get rid of the Education Department?
Because I told Linda, I hope you do a great job and put yourself out of a job. We spend more per pupil than any other country in the world, and we're ranked at the bottom of the list. We're ranked very badly. And what I want to do is let the states run schools.
Now, Trump wants to reduce the size of the federal government through executive orders, buyouts, and layoffs. A White House official tells our colleagues at Fox Digital at least 20,000 government workers have taken that buyout offer, and that number is, quote, rapidly growing ahead of the deadline tomorrow. Now, today, the House Oversight Committee holds a, quote, right-sizing government hearing, and at CIA, there also appears to be changes headed there. The Wall Street Journal was first to report the spy agency is freezing job hiring unless the applicants have the right background for the agency's new goals, which include undermining China. And last night, the following message was posted on the USAID website saying on Friday, just before midnight, all USAID direct hire personnel will be placed on administrative leave globally with the exception of designated personnel responsible for mission-critical functions. Vice President J.D. Vance posting to X last night, he thought what Elon Musk and Doge would find is about $250 billion in waste. He says it turns out that number's much higher. Now, keep in mind, ladies, the U.S. government's debt is over $36 trillion. Martha?
All right, Lucas, thank you very much.
Oh shit. If that happens, there will be no more false flags, no more scare tactics on the people, and no more conspiracy theories being born either. That's gonna make my job a little harder, but that's okay. I'd rather live in a more peaceful world. I don't have to think about these people boiling my blood inside.
Details coming to light about a secret FBI working group that allegedly investigates unidentified aerial phenomena, or also known as UAPs, UFOs. It's the first time that the group has ever been publicly disclosed, according to Politico. That claim coming from former Navy pilot Ryan Graves. If you remember, he was the first active duty pilot to come forward about regular sightings of UAPs. We heard his whistleblower testimony in front of Congress last year. Graves says the FBI working group is made up of more than a dozen staff who, quote, spend much of their time tracking down UAPs. I now want to bring in Ryan Graves. He's co-founder of Americans for Safe Aerospace. Ryan, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. I mean, this is the first time the public is learning of this secret group, this probe into UFOs. You've spoken to these agents. Who are they and what exactly are they working on right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So these agents have taken upon this responsibility as a part of a bottoms-up approach in order to understand what potential illegalities might be occurring with objects that are operating within our airspace that we're not properly tracking or mitigating. The FBI has both a law enforcement as well as a counterintelligence responsibility. So having objects that are harassing military bases as well as the general public over our national airspace squarely fits within their domain of responsibilities.
Don't worry. If Trump actually shuts down these agencies, he's still gonna create a new one to deal with this sort of thing.
Scary facts you didn't want to know. Thinking too much could actually kill you. If you sit in an old piece of furniture, you are more likely to be possessed. Hundreds and thousands of bodies have been lost at sea or buried, so you're basically swimming in a graveyard. If you have two mirrors or more facing each other, it makes a portal for spirits. Someone could be stalking you right now. A body decomposes 4 times faster in water than on land.
Whoa! I knew there was a reason why I didn't like buying old furniture. Oh man, that gotta hurt. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this one. Remember to share, like, and subscribe, and tune in for the next one. I'll see you soon. Peace!